Today we are going to cover another new area, foreign exchange market and the economy, and treasury operations relating to trade finance, right? And last time we did the structuring of facilities, and I have asked you to do the sums and complete it. How many people have given a try? How many people have given a try? Huh? Nobody? This is the problem with you guys. When you are not seeing me, when you are not physically meeting me, you take it lightly. Right? Have you given an attempt?
Yes, sir.
How many sums you did?
Yes, sir.
How many sums you did?
I did all.
You did all. Yeah, what's your name?
Imeshka.
Vishika. Very good. Very good. Vishika, can you bring all those things next week
Okay.
to the class? Write your name and give it to me. I will correct it. Because
Okay.
from next week, I'm going to have the classes physically.
Okay.
I told these people because this particular subject, international trade, this high diploma, you can't have it online. There are so many things we have to discuss as a team, right? අපි යම් පරණ විදියටම කැමති නේද අඩු ගන්න දකින්න අපිට අපි මේ හම්බෙලා පරණ විදියටම ක්ලාස් එකේ වාඩි වෙලා පරණ විදියටම කරගෙන යන්න වෙන කරන්න බෑ මොකද මේකේ when you are doing the sums I will today also after the session next week I will give you the sums to do. So when you are doing the sums, I will do one exercise with you all, and after that you have to do it in the class, right? Another one or two, which I can sit with each and every person and see whether you are doing it correctly and whether you have any issues, right? That's the only way you can learn. And especially after that, for about another 4 classes, we'll have to do document checking. That also another area where you can't do online checking. There is online checking. In fact, I have done online checking when I was with HSBC. The global access, platform, right? We can do it. But when you are doing online checking, then you have to have 2 screens. You have to have one document screen and then to mark the other things, right? Otherwise, you can't learn. But we don't have that type of facilities now. So anyway, I was thinking of having about 5-6 classes physically. So when we meet, we can discuss about the structuring sums, right? And then from next week, there won't be any recording physical classes. Please give the message to your friends who are supposed to sleep at this particular time at home, right? What about your idea? What is your feedback? You don't want the physical classes or to have it?
Will come, sir.
Huh?
Will come.
Yeah, you have to come with that. Otherwise, we are not here just to pass the exam. This particular class is to enhance your knowledge. You can't enhance your knowledge, international trade, on a virtual by following virtual classes, right? So we have to do it. So shall we start the classes next week at 1 o'clock? Right? You come to the this thing, then Menaka will let you know which lecture room, and we can sit with 1 meter distance, right? There won't be any issues on that. That facilities we are having, right? So let's sit and discuss and learn the thing. නැත්නම් මට half boiled eggs ටිකක් තමයි මේ පාර එළියට දාන්න වෙන්නේ. Which I don't want to do. And normally my pass rates in this DIT is first shot at least 75% definitely pass වෙනවා. මේ පාර නම් 75% බැරි වෙනවා. ඒ බැරි වෙන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේම වැරද්දක් නෙමෙයි. ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ අපේ දෙගොල්ලන්ගේම වැරද්ද හින්දා. ඉතින් ඒකෙන්ද අපි මේ දැන්ට now even now it is not too late. We'll try to sort out the thing, right? Right. Especially document checking part, you can't. You have to be with me and argue with me, check the documents. It's really interesting, really interesting. You have to discuss with your colleagues. You have to discuss and you have to argue among yourselves, right? We have to have an active class. So I'm waiting to see that from next week. Okay? Right. The ළමයිව මට අඳුරන්න පුළුවන් ද දන්නෙත් නෑ මම. පන්ති දෙකයි දැක්කේ. Okay. Today I'm going to discuss with you the foreign exchange market and the economy and how treasury operations are connecting with trade finance operations, right? In this foreign exchange, when you talk about the foreign exchange markets, right? We all know you can't do international trade without the treasury. Because every import transaction, when you are doing the payments, you have to get the rates from the treasury, or you have to book the rates from the treasury. But as well, when you are receiving funds from your nostro account to on a export documentation, that also to convert it to the local currencies, you have to get the rates from the treasury, right? So, and not only that, the treasury has to see what is the total overall position of the bank, whether it's a short position or a long position, whether it's overbought or oversold, all those things they have to check. And then only they can cover those positions, right? So therefore, the foreign exchange market is very important. And when you are studying the foreign exchange market, you are studying the treasury operations related to the trade finance department. Okay. And when you talk about the foreign exchange market, these markets have no physical forms. They have no physical forms, right? Then you must be thinking, I don't know what this guy is telling. Our treasury has a physical form. We have the head treasury, then we have dealers, we have back office, middle office people, we have back office people. So all are physical, right? Those people are physical, but the foreign exchange market is not a physical one. The market exists through sophisticated network of communication involving telephones, telexes, and computer links, right? All those things are part and parcel of this foreign exchange market. And you won't believe, for a day, over 3 trillion, 4 trillion transactions are happening, dollars, right? The participants in the foreign exchange market, we can classify them into 3 categories. Because we all know there are customers. There are customers in the market. This particular market, we all act on behalf of our customers. And not only our customers, there are outside customers also. Now, for example, external customers, that is, when we want to buy certain money, then we have to go to some banks to borrow. Or if we have a oversold position, then we have to sell it to some other banks. So those people will also be a party to this foreign exchange. They are also participants of this forex market, right? So therefore, the one is customers. Another one is banks. The banks are also getting involved in this particular market because entire market will be operating. Entire market will be operating through banks. These customers can't buy or sell their currencies without going through the banks. So the banks plays a major role. And the third one is brokers. Those days, before 1977, we didn't have brokers. It was direct. It was direct. In 1977, in 1976 and 77 and 78, for 3 years, I was a dealer in the treasury, a junior dealer, right? But I have gained a lot of experience in treasury by working in treasury, right? So that helped me a lot when I specialized trade finance. This is one of the areas you should know. Otherwise, you can understand the gravity of it, right? A lot of people, that's the main reason why we are having issues with the trade finance staff. The treasury guys are having a lot of issues because these people are not taking the rates. These people are not giving the transactions properly to the treasury for them to cover up. And if they don't give the transactions properly if they have not reported to treasury, then the treasury, if treasury has not covered up, if the rates goes down during the course of the day, the bank might end up with big losses. We might end up with big losses. So because of that, you have to be very, very careful. And if you don't know about the treasury, if you are not worked in the treasury, you think, oh, this is not a big thing, right? Even if I miss something, why these people are making a big fuss? No, like uh, trade losses are huge ones, treasury losses are even more. So banks makes a major role. Then we were talking about the brokers. Before 1977, there was no brokers. If I had a bought or sold a position, what I would do is uh, every I can still remember. I used to go to for these dealings. All the banks at about 2 o'clock we close our positions. Can somebody remember before 1977? මම හිතන්නේ නැහැ කෙනෙක්වත් ඉඳී කියලා නේද? එච්චර වයස එක්කෙනෙක්වත් උතර නැහැ නේද? එච්චර වයස එක්කෙනෙක්වත් උතර නැහැ නේද? මගේ ක්ලාස් එකේ 77ට කලින් බැංකියෙන් පටන් ගත්ත කලින් කට්ටිය නෑ නේ. ඔව්. ඇයි සද්ද නැත්තේ? ඔව් නෑ කියන්නත් බෑ. Right. ඒ ඔක්කොම පොඩි යුන් ටිකක් ඉන්නේ. Before 1977, where our clearing operation එක පටන් ගත්තා. දැන් අපි ඔක්කොම online clearing නේ තියෙන්නේ. දැන් අපි දන්නේ නැහැ මෙහෙම load කරනවා මේ ලංකා ක්ලියර් එකෙන් ඔක්කොම සෙට් කරලා ඔක්කොම කරලා එනවා. ඉස්සර එහෙම නෙමෙයි. අපි යනවා සෙන්ට්‍රල් බැංක් එකට ගිහිල්ලා මගේ චෙක්ස් ටික අපි දමු මේ බැංක් ඔෆ් ස්ටර්ලින් එකට දෙන්න ඕන. මම බැංක් ඔෆ් ස්ටර්ලින් එකට දෙනවා. බැංක් ඔෆ් ස්ටර්ලින් එකේ තියෙනවා නම් chartered bank, standard chartered එකේ checks, they will give it to me, right? Likewise, we used to exchange. ඒ වෙලාව තමයි post කරන්නේ. දැන් online posting යනවා. Treasury තිය වගේ 2 o'clock විතර හැමදාම අපි යනවා ගිහිල්ලා. There was a oval shaped table, the 14th floor of the 7th or 8th floor of central bank. ගිහිල්ලා අපි ඔක වටේට වාඩි වුණාම each bank will announce their positions. So the Bank of Scotland will say, I have a bought position. And that means they have more purchases. They have more exports, so they have more purchases. So they have dollars. They have dollars. Then the Standard Chartered will say, I have a oversold position of $100 million. The 100 million was a big, very big thing at that time. Then kadang gani na 100 million kinaga. That's what lugana. I have a oversold position of 100 million. So that means I have paid a lot of import bills and I am short of dollars. I have oversold feeling. Right? එතකොට Bank of Scotland කියනවා, okay, how much you need? 100,000. Then they will say, okay, I can give you 100,000 because they have oversold position. Overbought position. So they will over the table. They will say, okay, I can give you 100,000. At what rate? Then we decide on the rate, the transaction rate, and then he will fill a ticket and sign it and give it to me in duplicate. I will also sign in duplicate, and then he keeps one copy, other one is with me. When I go back to the bank, we pass the entries. That was the good old days, right? But when Mr. Jayajavadana introduced the free, what do you call this, open economy and free economy in 1977, then a lot of transactions started rolling through. Then the banks couldn't cope up with the thing. So to help the banks, the brokering firms came up. Picard Chapman, George Stewart, Forbes and Walker, like that. A lot of brokering companies came up, and whenever I need money or I have a oversold position, I can tell those guys, brokers, they will do the dealing, they will do the trading, and inform me. So if I am happy, I will go for it, right? So because of that, the participants in foreign exchange market can be classified into three categories: what is customers, banks, and brokers, right? Right. Now, the trade finance transactions, when you take the trade finance transaction, there are so many areas generating treasury operations. One is to facilitate trade transactions, import and exports, right? Other parties, the guarantees. Within a guarantees can own a guarantees. Own a guarantees. Up guarantees kalane. Haven't we? We have done now. Guys, next week is them back. You're also sleeping, I'm also sleeping. Today is the last day. Right? You have to pay my ticket. And the gala, would the like under, you know. What a guarantees there.
Shipping guarantee?
Oh,
Shipping guarantee?
shipping guarantee.
Oh, bank guarantee.
Bank guarantee. I'm talking about the bank guarantee. Bank guarantees rupees but we have bank guarantees in dollars or pounds or euro. International guarantees, right? So then only in those situations also we have to either purchase or sell, right? Then the collections. Those are the areas, yeah, we need transactions. How does trade finance transactions affect bank books? How does trade finance transactions affect bank books? One is the cash flow. So whatever the transactions, right, will affect the cash flow of the department or the cash flow of the bank, because trade transactions are huge ones. Right? Then the exchange positions. Every 2-3 hours, we'll have to give the exchange positions to the forex department in a practical way, right? If you have a big bill about $10 million, $20 $25 million, right? Those are big bills. And Standard Chartered එහෙම නම් මට තිබුණේ මම හිතන්නේ less than $50,000. නම් අපි report කරන්නේ නෑ ඔක්කොම එකතු කරලා less than 50,000 වෙනම report කරනවා. සේරම less than 50,000 මේවා. එහෙනම් අපිට ඒ ප්‍රමාණය අපි තියන් ඉන්නවා නොස්ට්‍රෝ එකේ. Otherwise, if it is a millions one, anything over $50,000, yeah, but there's no bank to bank. These thresholds can be different, right? I've just taken only an example. We had to get a report to Treasury, and we had to get special rates for it, right? The exchange purchase solta mega balapano. Then claims of litigations. Claims of litigations in bank guarantees. Even a trade purchase solta effect now. Then we'll talk about the related risk. Related risk to the related risk in treasury operations. There are two risks. One is direct risk and other one is indirect risk, right? This risk we can classify it into direct risk. Other one is indirect. Right? Direct risk also we can classify it, further classified under exchange rate risk and interest rate risk. Exchange rate risk and interest rate risk. Interest rate risk, right? And the indirect, there are so many other risks, right? The treasury risk is mainly either the exchange rate risk or the interest rate. Why interest rate? When we buy or sell forward rates, right? Always there is an opportunity cost involved and the interest involved, interest component, right? Because of that interest rate, if a country's interest rates goes down and how it affects the economy and all, I mean, based on that, these rates can be changed. So those are direct risks, right? Then indirect risk. Indirect risk. One is sovereign risk. One is sovereign risk. What is sovereign risk? What is sovereign risk? Come on.
Country risk?
Country risk. Simple as that. Sovereign risk is country risk, right? Then second one is counterparty risk. Counterparty risk is when you are dealing with a customer, either importer or exporter, that particular guy is risk, right? Reputational risk. By doing a wrong thing, and if something happens to your reputation, that reputational risk is also an indirect risk. Then legal risk. A lot of banks are very much concerned about their reputational risk. Okay? Legal risk. Legal risk. Right? Liquidity risk. If they don't have the liquidity, yes, they have a liquidity risk. And operational risk. Right? Credit risk. Operational risk වලට තමයි ඉන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ ගහන blunders. Right? Google ගෙවුවම ඒක report කරන්නේ අරම කළා නෑ. Then credit risk and settlement risk. Right? Something came to my mind. Actually, I came to the class to discuss that particular one before I start the class. But I completely forgotten. And then තමයි කපාට ඔළුවට ආවේ reputation risk කියන කැලල දැක්කම. මේක මම ඔයගලන්ට දෙන්නම් සිනාරියෝ එක හොඳ case study එකක්. හොඳ case study එකක් මම සිනාරියෝ එක දෙන්නම්. මට පොඩ්ඩක් කියන්න discuss කරමු. Shall we hold on to the treasury part for 5-10 minutes? Huh?
Okay.
Okay. But this particular one, case study, is a very classic one. මට ඊයේ පෙරේදා ආපු case එකක්. මමත් මේක වැඩි experience කරපු නැති case එකක්. මගෙන් ඇහුවා මොකද කරන්න කියන එක. right මම මේක ඔයගන්ට දෙන්නම් ඊට පස්සේ මේ ඔයගේ questions අපිට හදලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. මේක true actually true case එකක්. අපි පොඩ්ඩක් බලමු මොකද ඒ case එක කියලා. I will not give them the names or anything. I will use ABCD. ආසයි ඔයගලන්ගේ feedback එක ගන්න මට දැන් මම ඔයගලන්ව trade ඔය අමාරුම ඒවටනේ මම දැන් යොමු කරන්නේ. දැන් එතකොට when you attend the classes and once you complete the thing and once you got your graduation on this particular one certificate of then your bosses will think you are a guy who knows about trade well. Then ඇහුවාම උත්තර දෙන්න අපි දැනගන්න ඕන මේ වගේ tricky complicated questions. There was a LC issued by country A. Country A. Right? The bank, the issuing bank has sent the LC, advised LC to bank B of Plum. Bank B, when they got the LC, when they checked, they didn't have direct agency arrangements with this less known bank, right? But they have tested it, the authentication. They have tested the authentication with their Australian counterparty, right? They have checked with the authenticity with their Australian counterparty, who were having testing arrangements with country A's, that particular bank. But this customer was not a customer of Bank B. Customer was not a bank. Customer was not banking with Bank B, who has advised the LC, right? So therefore, they have advised it to the customer. The customer has given LC was a negotiation with any bank. So they have taken the LC to negotiate negotiated with Bank C. They have negotiated with Bank C. මේගොල්ලෝ advice කළාට මේගොල්ලෝ negotiate කළේ Bank C එකත් එක්ක. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට clear දෙක question එක. question එක clear නැද්ද? Hello. තේරෙනවනේ? හරි. ඒතර මේක චාචාරෝ වේගෙන එන්නේ. They have negotiated with the Bank C. And the goods were going to Bank C. And then the goods to country D. Goods have gone to country D. And documents, docs to issuing bank, country A. Documents එක ගියා country A එකට ගියා issuing bank එකට, but the goods have gone to country D as per the LC condition, right? As per LC condition. Now, these people have cleared the goods. These people have cleared the goods with a cable approval. Now, documents are with this guy now. Now they're separate country, right? So they have given the cable approval. Cable approval to release the delivery order. Right? Release the delivery order. So they have, based on that, they have released the delivery order. These people have taken the goods. Up to now, they have not settled. Up to now, they have not settled. This is for your homework, right? Material diagram, but again, clear that. මේක වල අමතක වෙන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා මම මේ statistics එක ලිව්වේ. What do you think of the face of it? So මේකේ තිබුණා some conditions එකක් තිබුණා. Third party documents acceptable. Third party documents acceptable. මේ ඉල්සේ advice කළා පෙරසි එකේ තියෙනවා. What do you think about it?
So, on top trade එකක් වගේ.
Huh?
On top trade
Entreport එක. Entreport trade එක දැන් payment එක එන්න එපා. දැන් මේගොල්ලෝ payment එක දෙන්නේ නැහැ. Bank A of in country A. And no discrepancies. Clean. Since last July, they have not informed about any discrepancies. Anyway, they have to do it within 5 banking days. We have not received any discrepancies. And no disputes. කොයිද මේක වරද්දලා තියෙන්නේ? වැරදිලා තියෙන්නේ. දැන් වරද්දන් තියෙන්නේ කොතනද?
payment එකට කලින් cable approval
Payment එකට කලින් cable approval තියෙන පුතේ මේකට. Cable approval to release it. Because this is a different country now altogether. So without the original BL, these people will not release the goods without the original BL. So instead of having the original BL, all 3 copies were with the Bank A of country A. The Bank A has sent a table approval saying that we are holding the original all 3 BLs. So therefore, this allows them to clear the goods.
So LC එකේ availability තියෙන්නේ කොහෙද?
Availability country A.
bank C negotiate කරපු එක වැරදි නේද?
Sorry, availability any bank in Colombo, any bank in Colombo, any bank in the bank on the Grand Purani. මේක ට්‍රේඩ් එකේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ මොලේ අවුල් වෙන ප්‍රශ්නයක්. මටත් හරි උත්තරයක් දී ගන්න අමාරුයි. හැබැයි I can discuss the question. Right? මේක පොඩි මේක ලියාගෙන අපි යමු ක්ලාස් එකට යන් කන්ටිනියු කරන්න. හැබැයි next week අපි ආවම මෙතන physically නේ. Physically we can start arguing. මම physical class එක ආසයි එකයි. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝ කොහොම වාඩිලා මේ question එක මේ වගේ එකක් අපිට බලන්න පුළුවන්. මේවා තමයි ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ ඇත්තටම මේ issues how to help. දැන් මේ වගේ දෙයක් ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ if you come across in your day-to-day operations, right? If you can discuss a similar issue with your managers, then they will love you, right? You are talking some sense and you are supporting them. ඒක තමයි වෙන්න ඕනේ මේ ඉගෙන ගන්න එකේ. මම එකම clue එකක් විතරක් දෙන්නම්. This particular issue is still outstanding in the market. තාම එහාට මෙහාට කැරක් යන issue එකක්. Right? අපි එතකොට research කරලා බලමු. Next week, right? දැන් ඔක මතක තියාගන්න මට next week මතක නැති වෙයි මොනවාද මේ banks එක කියලා. ඒ වුණාට පස්සේ අපි කතා කරලා බලමු. Okay, right. The role of treasury. Now we are going back to treasury, right? මේක මතක ගන්න. මේකට ඉන්වෝල්ව් වෙච්ච අපේ කොළඹ බැංක්ස් ඔක්කොම මගේ ක්ලාස් එකේ ඉන්නවා. එතකොට අපිට බලන්න right? මොනක හින්ට් එකක්. ඒක අහන්න එපා හිට ක්ලාස්. ඔෆිස් ගියාම මෙහෙම දෙයක් වෙලා තියෙනවද කියලා. මම ගස්සරි. මම මේ ඔයගලන්ට ඩිස්කස් කරන්න question එකක් ඉතුරු කළා. case study එක. Right. Rule of the treasury. One of their obligations is to monitor the market movements. Right? The daily market movements, whether it's going up or down, right? And new regulations, if there's any new regulations, immediately they have to inform the respective departments. Government budget highlights. Can you remember? I mean, when most of you you are having very close contacts with your own treasuries, your respective banks. During the budget speeches, you must have seen how those people are devoting their time listening to the budget speech and jotting down the things, right? Because those budget highlights are very vital to take their decisions, right? The foreign market movements, they react for market movements, collect transaction information from all departments for effective management of exchange positions and cash flows, right? Manage operations within the delegated authorities, then manage exchange positions, manage nostro account balances. Another very important thing, manage nostro account balances. Why they have to manage the nostro account balances? Any reason? Nostro account balances. What happens if the nostro account goes overdraft? overdrawn. If the nostro account gets overdrawn, that's a repercussion.
We have to pay penalty.
Big penalties. Big penalties. So you can't let the nostro account go through overdrawn situation, right? Because of that, you have to manage, you have to maintain a healthy balance. But maintaining a healthy balance, excessive funds also not productive, because you won't get any money. It's a current account. Your nostro account is a current account. You won't get any interest for that, right? So you have to maintain the minimum. On the other hand, to control, manage, and to monitor the balances, right? And maintain statutory reserves, the local rupees, statutory reserves, you have to maintain that. Then bidding, pricing on treasury transactions. Primary auctions, secondary auctions, do the bidding and pricing on treasury transactions. Some more. Business continuity. Any BCP plan, treasury guys plays a major role, right? Maintain good rapport in the market. You have to be good with all the competitors in the market, the brokers, everybody, right? And always be good with the customers. I know some of the banks, when they lose their good customers, when they lose their good staff to other competitive banks, competitor කෙනෙක් ගාවට ගියාට පස්සේ මම S2කට දැකලා තියෙනවා, right? ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ බැංකුව වල මම දැකලා තියෙන්නේ මේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ බැංකුව වල දැන් ඉන්න කට්ටියගේ customers also go with him. Customers යනවා අපෙන් අයින් වෙනවා. ඒක ඇත්තද බොරුද? ඇත්තනේ? ඔව් ඒක ඇත්ත. අපි හොඳ treasury guy කෙනෙක්, හොඳ dealer කෙනෙක් අපෙන් ගියොත් වෙන බැංක් එකකට අපේ හොඳම ටීම් එක එමේ සරේ ඒ පැත්තට යනවා. Because they are always making a very good rapport in the market. ඒ market rapport එක තමයි අද කර දුවන්නේ. Then forecasting, assets and liability management, ALCO, it's another function. Then publishing rates, budgeting and monitoring treasury profit. Role of treasury. And the treasury dual control. What do you mean by dual control? In treasury, it's always having their functions are segregated into two main officers, right? Two main officers. One is the front office. All the dealing room guys are there, front office. What they do is they are the people who enter into transaction with outside parties. They are just entering and they quote the rates, right? And they are the people who manage the export exchange positions. You have to report it to the front end, the front office, the dealing room, our treasury positions, right? Even if we report කරන්නේ dealing room එකකට කරන්නේ. එතකොට then they will collect all the data and then do the dealings, right? And they are the people who report rates, the customers as well as to the bank, and manage exchange positions and cash flows based on the reported transaction. Those people will never, they are not allowed to enter the transaction into the system because it's a dual control. Other one is the back office. Treasury back office is the controlling unit. Right? That's a controlling unit. They maintain mirror images of the cash flows and exchange policy. Dealing with mirror images, they are maintaining. Then reconciling treasury positions against GL and reporting. Reporting to whom? Reporting to whom on a daily basis?
Central Bank.
Huh?
Central Bank.
Central Bank. Yes. Central Bank. Right? Yoko Karane Treasury back office. They are also doing a major role. And front office again, Dana deal like they always double check at the back office. Okay? If they give unnecessary high rates or low rates or favorable rates to a customer, these guys will take up the matter. The back office guys, right? Types of transactions to be reported to Treasury. Whatever affects cash flows, payment, non-payment. Why non-payment? It's a good question. Payments, yes. Non-payment. What do you mean by non-payment? ළමයි අද last day එක උතන අටවහගෙන ඉන්න next week පොඩ්ඩක් අලු ගසා දාලා එන්න ලෑස්ති වෙන්න ඕන මාත් එක්ක කතා කරන්න රණ්ඩු වෙන්න hina වෙන්න ජෝක් එකක් enjoy කරන්න අපි next week ඉඳන් පුරුදු වෙනවා ආපහු සරත් පරණ විදියට ඒකින්ද අද පුරුදුනත් එක්කම අද කතා කරන්න. Why payment? Yes, yes. No issue, no payment. Non-payment. Why non-payment? Why non-payment? Can't you guess?
Once
What is that, Pati? අර බොයි කෙනෙක් කතා කළා එයා කතා කරන්න බෑ. කෑල්ලම හැමදෙස්සම අතාරනවනේ.
So balance the nostro accounts.
Nostro account වෙන මේ කතාවක්. මේ non-payment.
that the customers request some rates and after due to some fund problems if it not happened.
Yes. Yes. Up to a certain extent, yes. තව එක incident එකක්. මේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නේ ඒවා. ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නේ ඒවා මේ කියන්නේ. ඔයා හරි ටිකක් එක issue එකක්. තව එකක් non-payments නේ මං කියලා තියෙන්නේ. That was one. Another one. දැන් පෙරවිලා අපි ගොඩක් වෙලාට අපි forward bookings කරනවා නේද? Forward book කරලා මේ අපිට LC bill එකක් එනවා to settle එහෙම නැත්නම් collection bill to settle after 90 days. So we have booked forward because of the fluctuation of the exchange rates, right? Then if you are not settling, now when you booked forward at that particular point, day, the day we have booked forward, we have covered the position. By then sitting අපි cover කරලා තියෙන්නේ. එහෙම තියෙද්දි දැන් මේක payment එක යන්න ඕන අවල් දවසට. එහෙම තියෙද්දි මෙයා payment එක කරන්නේ නැහැ. Because due to the cash problem. අන්න එතකොට අපි කලින් calculate කරලා තිබුණ ඔක්කොම we go for 6. Right? මේකේ non payments හරියටම report කරන්න ඕන. Receipts, non receipts. Value date changes. Why value date changes? What the value date changes කියන්නේ? What is the repercussion if we change the value dates and without informing Treasury?
The bank won't be able to maintain those funds on that certain date.
Yes. If you have booked forward for a particular value date, and if you are not doing the payment on that particular date, later due to an amendment, maybe due to an amendment, right? අපිට amendment එකේ වුණා අපි payment එක අපි book කරපුවා. මේ වෙන්නේ අන්න එතකොට we'll have to inform Treasury beforehand because they have to do the positions cover වෙන්න ඕන. නැත්නම් open positions වලට අපි යනවා. Right? A positions cover වෙන්න ඕන. Then cancellations. The same issue. Like payments, non-payment, cancellation account, we'll have to inform them because we may have secured it earlier. Then recall funds, duplications, change in nostro agents. If you change the nostro agents, that also you have to inform, right? Types of transaction to be reported to the Treasury continued. Whatever affects exchange positions, right? Currency conversions, cancellations, incorrect entries, all those things we have to report. And this is how a dealer and the dealer is directly dealing with various departments, trade, credit, front office, finance, ඒගොල්ලෝ දෙනවා figures to dealer and dealer also then gives them the rates, right? ඒ වගේ තමයි ඒ අර එක දෙපැත්තටම තියෙනවා both ways, right? Then Treasury back office. Nostro accounts. Nostro accounts maintained by a bank with other banks for settlement of banks transactions. Right? Banks may use different nostro accounts for different purposes. Banks may use for different nostro accounts for different purposes. What do you mean by that? When I was with HSBC Dubai, I can still remember when I started re-engineering of the trade finance department, I saw every export department. In the morning, when they want to settle the nostro payments, reconcile, they will go through whatever the debits and credits received during that day. Normally, we had, even in Dubai, we had about 4 branches. Then Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Ras Al Khaimah, එතකොට මේ ෆුජේරා ඒ වගේ එක එක ස්ටේට්ස් වල HSBC branches හැම එකක්ම run කරනවා entire nostro statements. Entire nostro statement in HSBC, so many operations, it runs to about 80 A4 papers. 80 A4 papers is right. Everybody was printing that. And then everybody was going through the thing. Highlight ගන්නවා. දැන් අපි ට්‍රේඩ් එකේ හෙඩ් ඔෆිස් එකේ ට්‍රේඩ් එකේ 80ක් 80ක් ගත්තාම 4කවත් නැහැ ට්‍රේඩ් එකේ කට්ටිය. Operations. Right? But every day, 8 people are spending about 6 hours on reconciling the thing for nothing. So what I did was, I wrote to the management, and I asked them to set up a separate, dedicated nostro account for trade finance department, dedicated to one. Right? ඒක කළාම මට කොළ දෙකයි එන්නේ. Instead of going through 80 pages, now I am getting only 2-3 pages. ඒ විදිහට හිතලා ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ banks කීයක තියනවද only for trade? Only for trade, nostro accounts එක කට්ටිය. කියන්නේ බලන්න. Commercial bank නැද්ද? මානිත්‍යවන වැඩි අහන්නේ. Commercial එකේ separate account එකක් තියෙනවද nostro trade වලට නැත්නම් you are also using the same one nostro account to the bank? Hey, බයද කියන්නේ? එහෙම නැත්නම් දන්නේ නැද්ද? දැන් නැත්නම් next week දැනගෙන එන්න. Right? Next week දැනගෙන එන්න. මොකද මේ අපිට බලන්න පුළුවන් bank of Slough, People's Bank. ඒකේ ඉන්නවා නම් students ලා චුට්ටක් check කරලා බලන්න. අනිත් ඒවා ඉතින් ඔච්චරම ගන්න separate account එකකට යන්න තරම් මම හිතන්නේ නැති කියලා. Bank of Slough, People's Bank, Commercial Sampath, whether you are having a separate nostro account. These are interesting, right? You can check. Opening of a nostro account too should be subject to anti-money laundering regulations. That we all know. It's not an easy thing. I have gone through that agony when I wanted to open a nostro account to Cargill's Bank. Right? It was really, really tough thing. Pre-arrangement of relationship with counterparties. In SWIFT is mandatory for treasury and trade-related transactions. Pre-arrangements of relationship with the counterparties. Right. Currency codes. Another very important thing. When we are quoting the currencies, right, we have to quote it in two terms. One is the direct quote, other one is the indirect quote. And what is what do you mean by currency quote? Currency quotes means price of one currency, the exchange rate, is quoted in terms of another currency. Is quoted in terms of another currency. For example, US dollar 1 is equal to Sri Lanka rupees 185. Okay. Then UK pounds 1 equals to Sri Lanka rupees. Here the power 235, the 228, the 230, the 233. Right? Price of one currency is quoted in terms of another currency. Price of one currency, $1 US is equal to Sri Lanka rupees 185. Price of one currency, UK, 1 UK pounds equals to Sri Lanka rupees 230. Right? International trades are taking place mostly in US dollars. As such, as a general practice, all currencies are quoted against USD. Most of the currencies are quoted against US dollars. There are two ways of quoting against US dollars: direct and indirect quotations. Direct and indirect quotations. Right? First, we will see indirect quote. First, we will see indirect quote. Indirect quotes, for example, GBP, Euro, Aussie, New Zealand. Right? GBP, Euro, Aussie, New Zealand dollars. When it comes to indirect quote, value of a currency unit is quoted in US dollars. Value of a currency unit is quoted in US dollars. For example, 1 euro. 1 euro is equals to US dollars 1.350. 1 euro is equals to US dollars 1.3050. Right? Value of a currency unit is quoted in US dollars. Here the euro is the base currency. Euro is the base currency. Okay. Other one is direct current quote. Direct quote. In most countries, the international exchange rate are expressed in expressed in in units of the national currency. In most countries, the international exchange rates are expressed in units of the national currency. For example, Japanese yen, Singapore dollars, HKD. Right? Value of a US dollar is quoted in respect of currency. US dollar is the base currency. For example, 1 US dollar is equal to Japanese yen 98. To the 1 US dollar is equal to Japanese yen 1 point. Japanese yen 98. Right? Either the direct, indirect quotes done. Exchange rates. The exchange rate is the price at which the currency can be bought or sold in terms of another. Right? This price can be the result of supply and demand for the currency in the open unrestricted market, or at the other extremes, firmly fixed by edict of a government or its monetary authorities. Exchange rate is the price at which currency can be bought or sold in terms of another. Right? This price can be the results of supply and demand for the currency in the open unrestricted market. Make it market demand exchange rates are quoted mainly considering the expected fund movement dates. All additional days and interest component is adjusted to the base rate to arrive at the actual rate. Right? There was a bidding and offering among Katakaranam. Shall we take a small break? 1.5 hours. Okay, sharp 3. I'm going to start sharp 3. Right? Please be in your seats by 3 o'clock. And we'll continue from there. Yeah. Shall we start?
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine. Right. You can see the presentation, no? Can you see the presentation?
Yes,
Hello? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. For the next week, when you are coming, only issue we are having is all the other facilities are there, but you won't be getting the canteen. There's no canteen. So because of that, water bottle karame arang enna. Antimedi podi ekakවත් තිබුණොත් ලේසිනේ ඔයගන්ට. Right? ඉතින් ඒක මේ කරගන්න. හැබැයි මේවා තියෙනවා. What do you call these water filters are there. There's nothing to worry. But if you want your own water bottle, just keep a bottle of water with you. Then the thing is bidding and offering. In foreign exchange parlance, buying and selling rates are often referred to as bid or offered prices or rates. Right? Now, when we are buying, what time we are buying the foreign exchange? In the day, our trade day-to-day operations, when we buy foreign exchange in imports or exports.
Imports.
Import.
Huh?
Imports.
Import.
Exports.
Import.
Exports.
Exports, not imports. Because when it comes to exports, from the other banks will credit our Nostro account, right? And then money will come to us as purchasers. Then when our importers wants to buy dollars, we have to sell dollars, right? We have to sell dollars. So selling is with the imports, buying is with the exports always. And there's another word we use is in what do you call this? Forex jargon, that is bid and offer. The bid means when you buy, you say bid. When you sell, you say offer. Bid and offer, right? Now, this is how it is happening. These days, because now I am not working in a bank, now you have to help me, right? What is the dollar buying rate these days? What's the dollar buying rate these days?
Around 183.
183 is dollar buying rate. What is dollar selling rate?
109.
189.
89.
189.
187.
187. 187 kilograms of it. Buying rate is 183, selling rate is 187. So this is bid, this is offer, right? So difference between the bid and offer is the income for the price maker. Price maker is the banker. He is the one who is making this profit, right? Now, here, if we say, what's the difference between this one? US dollars for 183, 187 US dollars for the price difference, right? And we are talking about the profit margin based on market bid and offer. Profit margin based on market bid and offer.
So US dollars or LKR? 4 rupees. Difference is.
Sorry, LKR. Oh, US dollar හතරක් වෙන්න කොහොමද නේ? LKR 4 is the profit, right? Then if you take euro US dollar rates, right? Euro US dollar rates. Euro US dollar. What's the rate these days? Roughly? එහෙම නැත්නම් මම මේක ගන්න. මේක දීලා තියෙන එක 132.75. 132.75. මෙතෙන්දී මේ ෆිගර් එකට අපි කියනවා this is the big figure කියලා. This is the big figure. Now we'll have to learn these words since you are going to work with trade and since you are going to deal with treasury, right? And these two digits, we call it points. එහෙම නැත්නම් pips. මේ pips කියන වචනේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා ගොඩාක් treasury guys they use this word pips. When the customer says I want the best rate, right, for a seller when you are doing imports, this is the second rate they have quoted, 132.75. 132.75 is a rate they have quoted for you to do it. So when you told the customer will say, no, NTB is giving me better rate. Commercial is giving me a better rate, right? Can't you improve it? Take another customers. Can't you improve it? Then yeah, you will go back to the treasury guys again. Okay. In that case, make it 10 pips less. 10 pips. The 10 pips less කිව්වම ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නේ නැත්නම් මොකද්ද මේ pips කියන්නේ කියන එක ඉෂුව එකක් වෙනවා. එහෙම වුණොත් කීය දෙන්නේ? better rate එකක් කියලා මෙතන 10 pips less නම් එන්නේ rate එක කීයද?
132.65.
132.65. 132.65. Right? Normally the traders quotes only the pips. Right? එහෙම නැතුව okay 10 pips කියලා thank you very much කියලා 122.75 කියලා දුන්නොත් කොහමද? ඒ 10 මෙතනින් අඩු කරොත් එහෙම. ඒක නෙමෙයි. Last two digits තමයි pips කියලා අපි ගන්න. Right? You got that point, right? Right. තව එකක් කියලා මෙතන දෙනවා middle rate කියලා එකක්. Buying rate, selling rate, මෙතන middle rate. What's the middle rate of this one? What's the middle rate?
185.
Huh?
185.
185. 185. Call middle rate like that one. Buying rate plus selling rate divided by 2. Right? ඔය දෙක තමයි අපිට ගන්න වෙන්නේ middle rate කියලා. The middle rate එකෙන් මෙහාට වෙන්න අපි කොයිලාකවත් බයින් දෙන්න හොඳ නැහැ. මේ middle rate එක 185 නම් customer ට quote කරන්න හොඳ නැහැ. Less than 185. මේක තමයි අපේ threshold එක වෙන්නේ. මෙතනින් එහාට we can earn some profit. මේ පැත්තෙන් ඒ වගේ. Right? දැන් මේක buying rate එක 183 කියලා තිබ්බට අපි මේ පැත්තෙන් අපි improve කරනවා. improve කරනවා කියන්නේ මේක තමයි අඩු කරගත්තොත් අපිට බැංකුවට වාසියි. වැඩි වුණොත් කස්ටමර්ට වාසියි. ඒ වගේ වෙන්නේ. right? මේක වැඩි වුණොත් බැංකුවට වාසියි. කස්ටමර්ට පාඩුයි. අඩු වුණොත් කස්ටමර්ට වාසියි. මේක අනිත් පැත්ත. right? Okay. Make it බලන්න we bid an offer okay dollar LKR 132.50 134.74. What is the base currency? What is the base currency?
USD.
Hmm? What is the base currency? USD or LKR?
USD.
USD. Why? 1 USD is equals to so much of LKR. 1 USD is equals to so much of LKR. So 1 කියන එක තමයි අපි base එකට ගන්න. So what is the bid rate? What is the bid rate? Louder.
132.50.
132.50. Offer rate? 134.74.
7.
US dollar, Japanese yen. US dollar, Japanese yen. Is it a direct quote or indirect quote? From what we have learned. Is it a direct quote or indirect quote?
Direct.
Quote.
It's a direct quote. Right? එතකොට කියන්න බලන්න at what rate can you buy US dollars? At what rate can you buy US dollars? Now just imagine. Now just imagine a real scenario. Now the bank wants to buy US dollars. Right? From where we get the US dollars? From the exporters. When they do the exports, they get dollars and it goes to our nostro. And now this guy wants Japanese yen. Taken away, like Sri Lanka rupees. We have to buy dollars and give rupees to the customer. Am I correct? Come on, lamai. At what rate can you buy US dollars? Right? You are buying US dollars and selling Japanese yen. Right? So what's the rate you use? 102.90 or 102.95?
102.90.
102.90. Good. 102.90. At what rate can you sell Japanese yen? You sell Japanese yen and then get dollars. Okay. At what rate can you sell Japanese yen? Oganga Ulua
102.9.
102? Make ඇවිල්ලා නිකම් puzzle එකක් වගේ.
So මේක 102.95ද නැත්නම් 95ද? මේ රේට් එක දීලා තියෙන්නේ
102.95. 90 and 95.
Okay.
At what rate can you sell Japanese yen? Now think logically. What is the previous one? What rate can you buy US dollars? Right? That means when you buy US dollars, you sell Japanese yen. Right? Then that is 100 to 90. At what rate can you sell Japanese yen?
100 to 90.
100 to
90.
90.
95.
100 to 95. Any other answers?
100 to 90.
100 to 90. Right. So how the answers they got you know. How can they can want? Where didn't you?
100 to 90.
100 to 90. Then 100 to 90 dekai. 100 to 95 ekai. Then again. Then 2 in 1 the 3 in 1 another. Then 2 all another. Dekai ateka dekai nede me kata karane. Bangkuwe make a logic prasnya kila. At what rate can you buy US dollars? That means what rate can you sell Japanese yen? Devni ke hanne teka tamai. At what rate can you sell Japanese yen? 100 to 90. At what rate can you sell US dollars? 100 to 90. Right? Okay. Now we'll talk about some forex fundamentals. Forex fundamentals. Now, forex fundamentals, there's something we call trade date. Trade date. Trade date means the date on which the transaction occurs. The date on which the transaction occurs is the trade date. In the treasury, we call it T rate. Transaction date taken. The value date. Value date can the date on which settlement takes place. That is value date. The value dates, there are 3 types of value dates. There are 3 types of value dates. Right? We got 2 value dates. One is cash. Right? Other one is Tom. Other one is spot. There are 3 types of value dates. One is cash, one is Tom, one is spot. Cash means valued same day as the transaction day. Value same day. So that means if the transaction date is T plus 0. So the transaction date is the cash date. Here, Tom means T plus 1. So value date is, if the transaction date is Monday, then the value date is on Tuesday. Value date is on Tuesday. Spot is T plus 2. Transaction date plus 2 days. Right? So transaction take place 2 days after the transaction date. අපි වැඩිම use කරන්න කොයි එකද? cash the on the spot. Bank
Spot.
spot. Bank අපි වැඩිම use කරන්නේ spot එකක් ඉන්නේ. හරිද? එතෙන්දී spot rate කියන්නේ T+2. What is the reason for making the spot rate T+2? Two working days. 2 working days. Because even if something happens, and if you found on the end of the day audit that you have made a blunder, a wrong transactions, immediately you can sort it out within that 2 days before it gets valued. හැබැයි එහෙම කරන්න හොඳ නැහැ. එහෙම කරනවා කියන්නේ bank's reputation, that will affect the bank's reputation, right? So that is why you have to be very, very careful, right? So when මෙහෙම දෙයක් වුණොත් 2 working days. Next week අපේ තවද තියෙන්නේ when is the poet day? Next week?
Tuesday.
When is the poet day?
Tuesday, sir. Hello.
Huh?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Tuesday is a poet day. So we are doing a transaction Tuesday where, right? Transaction date is Monday. Value date means 2 working days. 2 working days. Then what is this spot date? What the spot date?
Thursday.
Hmm?
Thursday.
Thursday.
Spot date is any other answers? So we have to pass the entries on Thursday. Spot date. Any other answers? Oh, අපේ පිරිමි ළමයි ටික. ගෑනු ළමයිට ඩොමිනේට් කරන්න ඇරලා නිකන් ඉන්නවද? ලැජ්ජ නැද්ද? මේක හරියද? Spot date.
Sir, Wednesday, sir.
Huh? What is it?
Wednesday.
Spot date. Why you say Wednesday? Two working days now. 2 working days. Tuesday is poet. Why you said Wednesday? Poet we are not working. So is it correct?
So,
Huh?
but foreign exchange markets are not closed for days.
Foreign exchange market is not closing on poet days, ne? Poet immaterial. Only the US holidays effects. Only the US holidays. Right? මේ පොය තිබ්බයි කියලා අපිට වැඩක් නැහැ. ඒතර මේක වැරදි Thursday. Wednesday is the correct day. 2 working days කියන්නේ not Sri Lankan working days. US working days. Right? අපි මේ විතර ගත්තොත් එහෙම Transaction date 24th December 24th December, Thursday. Right? What is the spot value date? What is the spot value date?
So 27th.
27th.
29th.
28 Monday.
27th, 27th is Saturday.
29th Tuesday.
28 Monday.
29th Tuesday. When?
28 Monday.
28th Monday. Maru. Nine. Then who you gonna hurry?
29th Tuesday.
29th Tuesday. Why?
So 29th Tuesday, sir.
Why?
Because
Why?
20,
Give me the reason.
20,
Huh?
25th Friday is a US bank holiday.
US bank holiday.
It was
So because of that,
Saturday, Sunday, Monday,
Saturday,
Tuesday.
Sunday holidays, US. Then 27th, Friday. Friday is 25th, 26th, 27th, take out. 29th is the date. 29th is the spot date. Right? Make the month. December, Wednesday. Then what is the spot value date?
29th Monday.
29th Monday.
28th.
28th is Monday, 29th is Tuesday. What is the spot value date? 24th December, Wednesday. මේවා ඔගොල්ලෝ ට්‍රේඩ් එකේ ඉන්නකොට දැනගන්න ඕනේවා.
28 Monday.
28th Monday. Any other guesses?
24th was
20,
Wednesday, right?
29th Monday.
24th is Wednesday, then 29th is Monday.
Monday is 29th. Hurry, sir.
Then it should be 29th is Monday, and then 30th should be Tuesday.
29th Hurry, sir. Monday තමයි එක.
29th Monday මම දන්නේ නැහැ. මේක Wednesday නම් Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday and Monday. හරි. මේක හරිද? තව තියෙනවා.
So I feel it's 30th Tuesday because 26th is a Boxing Day.
30th Tuesday.
Yes, sir. I also wanted to ask about the Boxing Day holiday. ඒක count වෙන්නේ නැද්ද කියලා.
So 26 ඇල Boxing Day එකනේ. ඒකත් USA holiday එකක්. 26 Boxing Day. So 25th 26 දෙකම යනවා. Wednesday ආවා ඉතින් එහාට යන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ. 29. It was saying 29, 30th. 30th is the correct date. Value date. Right? So 2 working days. Spot not Sri Lankan working days. Vesak ekata, Poson ekata, single avurudata අපි දෙනවා wholesale වලට දෙනවා ඒවා වැඩක් නැහැ. Right? Okay. Forward means any settlement of a on a future transaction, settlement on a future date beyond 2 working days. Anything beyond 2 working days, we call it forward date. Right?
Sir, can I ask a small question?
Yeah.
Now, දැන් අපි මෙතන USD එකට බලන්නේ USA holidays නේ.
No.
All the other currencies also අපි USA holidays බලන්නේ.
No. According to their holiday.
GBP නම් England. එහෙමද?
UK pounds නම් England.
Euro
නම් කොහෙද දෙන්නේ? මාත් දැහුවා.
Germany ද?
Germany. Euro in Germany. Base again in Germany.
Sir, can I ask this question? Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, normally after Treasury can value dates in USD වලට Tom value dates. Other currencies වලට spot value dates. Sir?
US ඕගලන්ගේ මොකද්ද බැංක් එක?
Sampath Bank.
Sampath Bank එකේ US වලට හැමදෙස්සෙම spot Tom ද දෙන්නේ?
Normally next working date එක තමයි value date එක විදිහට එන්නේ.
ඒක මම දන්නේ නැහැ පුතා. මම කියන්නේ Treasury fundamental. Right? මම නම් හිතන්නේ නැහැ ඔයා better check with your Treasury why they are giving Tom rates. Why they are giving Tom rates? Because the majority of the customers, they want spot rates. Spot rate is 2 working days from the date of settlement.
For all the currencies?
All the currencies. All the currencies. These are forex fundamentals. On look at the these fundamentals you can't change. But bank to bank, your practices can be changed. Bank to bank, your practices can be changed. Right?
Okay, sir.
දැන් මේකෙදි තව එකක් අපි චෙක් කරලා බලමු. රේට් එක කොහොමද වෙන්නේ කියන එක. කියන එක සම්පත් බැංක් එකේ මේක මම දැන් ආගිය කරන්න යන්නේ. Right? If the value date is spot date, right? Normally spot value 2 days වලට ගන්නකොට if the rate is today's rate is 183 and 187. You're going to get 183 and 187. 187 කියලා ගන්නවා නම් spot මේ මෙතන මේ rate එක කියන්නේ මේ selling rate එක කියන්නේ spot rate එක. Right? අපි මෙතන ගන්නේ 187. If you are giving Tom value, the bank has to ensure that you are covering the exposure of the bank. Bank has to ensure that you are covering the exposure of the bank. Right? So that means you have to find money and put it in cover the exposure. That's an additional cost. Because of that, if you are quoting the Tom rate, you can check with your treasury guys. They will quote you 187.25. 187.25. මීට වඩා පොඩ්ඩක් වැඩි රේට් එකක් තමයි වෙබ් සෙලිං එකේදී අපි කෝට් කරලා ගන්න. Tom. Because if we are going to give value tomorrow, then we have to cover the position. Right? If it is today, sometimes the customers say, I want to send that money and value today itself. Value today, now make it a medical 187.50. Right? 187.50. Just see, about 50 pips, we take more. Because we have to cover the positions. We have to buy from outside and cover the positions. Taking the 2 days යනකොට අපිට කරගන්න හිමින් කරගන්න ඕන එක ඊට කලින් කට්ටක් ගාලා කරගන්න ඕන නම් ඒක වැලියු එක වැඩි ප්‍රයිස් එක වැඩි ඒක මම කියනවා මෙතන ඇයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ ටම් දෙන්න කියලා you are giving unfavorable rates to the customer. If the customer is asking, yes, definitely yes. If the customer is not asking, why he should pay 25 pips more to the bank? Right? Whereas he will be happy with paying 187. Right? This is the logic behind this.
Excuse me, sir. Same day value කරනවා නම් එයා ඒක ඉන්ෆෝම් කරන්න ඕනේද කියලා forex
Same day value
දෙනවා නම් rate එක එතකොට අපි ඒගොල්ලන්ට කියන්න ඕනේද? same day value එක හරි rate එක එතකොට අපිට දෙන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ cash rate එක
cash rate එක ඒක customer ට අපි කියන්න ඕන rate එක වැඩි කියලා. customer දන්නවා.
නෑ දැන් customer rate එකක් කරන් දෙනවා නම් කෙලින්ම forex call කරලා එතකොට customer කියන්න ඕනේද forex එකට same day value යන එකක් කියලා inform වෙන්න ඕනද නැත්නම් spot rate එක අරන් same day value දෙන්න පුළුවන්ද?
බෑ. spot rate එක අරන් same day value දෙන්න බෑ. අපි කියන්න ඕන forex එකට කියන්න ඕන this is same day value cash.
ඊට පස්සේ අපි rate එකක් ඉල්ල ගන්න ඕනේ.
ඊට පස්සේ තමයි ඉල්ල ගන්න ඕනේ. අපි ඒක හරියට දුන්නේ නැත්නම් ඔන්න පුතා හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක්. I like this type of things, right? හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඇහුවේ. දැන් ඩොලර්ස් වල අපි ස්පොට් රේට් එක අරගෙන අපි ඔක same day value දුන්නොත් කස්ටමර්ට ඕනෑ කියලා same day value දුන්නොත් රේට් එක ඔහොමම බැංක් එකට පාඩුද වාසිද?
පාඩු.
බැංකයට පාඩුයි. ඇයි කේස් එක ඇදෙන්නේ නැත්තේ? ඩොලර්ස් කියන්නේ ඕනම බැංක් එකක් ඔයගලගේ නොස්ට්‍රේ account එකේ ඩොලර්ස් ලොකු ගණන් තියන් ඉන්නවා. right? overnight position එක at least $100,000 idling තියෙනවමයි. at least $100,000 idling තියෙනවා. මොකද if it goes overdrawn, the penalty is very high. And because of that, we used to maintain at least 100,000. Some local banks and Bank of Ceylon, Papers Bank, some are HSBC wage foreign banks, millions galan. They just keep it. In case if something happens, they don't have to pay interest. The Hemathe, 187, whether we are using 187 instead of 187.50 Treasury එකට අපි report උනේ නැත්නම් audit එකක් ගියේ නැත්නම් අහුවෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒකින්ද අපි ඒක Treasury එකෙන් when you are requesting for a rate, you have to specifically mention when is the value date. Is it valued cash, term or spot? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. It's very important. Then the middle rate. The middle rate is the average of the actual cost that will incur in purchasing and selling a particular currency in the market. Right? Actual cost that will incur in purchasing and selling a particular currency in the market. Fixed by the Treasury on daily basis will be changed for considerable fluctuations during the day. Normally, the Treasury will fix the middle rate, and based on the middle rate, spread එක අපි ගන්නවා දෙපැත්තට. Middle rate is average of bid and offer. මේක වල පෙන්වන්නේ කනේ average of bid and offer. Bid and offer එකතු කරලා දෙකෙන් බෙදලා ගන්නවා. The last row is a golden statement. Okay, තියෙනවා නම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ print එක කරන් තියෙනවා නම් මේකේ ඒක highlight කරලා තියාගන්න. Buy low at bid, sell high at offer. Buy low at bid and sell high at offer. Then only the bank can make the profit as much as possible. The method 183, 187. Right? Always buy low. When you buy, try to go as much as possible the lowest rate. And when you are selling, try to go as much as possible highest rate. Sell high at offer. Right? දැන් මට ඔලුවට ආව මගේ මේ තියරි එක උඩ සම්පත් එක මට දැන් කිව්වනේ yeah, even if the customer doesn't quote you whether it's spot or term or cash, they always give term. That means sell high, ne? Am I correct? Sell high.
Yes.
And then it's done, and then it's done 25. But the risk is here, the transaction will be settled tomorrow. And if you found something tomorrow night, you won't be able to reverse it. You got my point? But if it is a spot one, even day after tomorrow, early morning, before 12 o'clock midnight, you can send an urgent mail and get the thing reversed or hold it. But now you can't do anything. They make the customer ගොඩක් කට්ටිය පුරුදුලා තියෙන අනිත් බැංක්ස් එක්ක to go for spot. ඒ thinking pattern එකේ regular level එක ආගිය කළොත් මම මොකද කියන්නේ නැහැ. Right? Spot term rates, rate codes for respective value dates are called accordingly spot rate or term rate. A spot rate is a rate of exchange for a foreign currency transaction that is to be settled within 2 working days of agreeing the rate. TT rate, another rate. TT rate, you know. Use rate TT rate. TT rate means spot rate. Generally, the payments are settled on the spot date. That means value 2 days. Generally, that's a normal trend, right? Most of the payments, 90% of the payments are settled in spot rates, spot date, right? This is done mainly to keep sufficient time to attend any corrections. Now you see, right? However, the importance of this has varied over the time with the development of technologies. The main concern here is the expected physical movement of funds. The main concern here is the expected physical movement of the funds. Right? During the intraday, the rates will go up and down. And some other treasury guys will do trading. But some banks, it's banned. They have stopped. Right? Even we used to do trading during intraday and even in nights. I can remember when I was at Standard Chartered. Sometimes we go home in the evening and come back at about 9:30 more there. ඇඟේ උණ තියෙනවනේ හොඳටම උණ කීයක් හරි වෙඩිපොර හොයලා බැංකුවට දෙන්න උණ හැම රුදාව තියෙනවා අපි ඒ තුනම තියෙනවා ඒ දවස්වල යන් ක්‍රවුඩ් එකනේ ඉතින් අපිට මේ ගෙවල් දොරවල් නැහැ no families ඉතින් කිසි ගාණක් නැහැ කොහොමද බැංකුවට මේක කරන්නේ ඉතින් අපි ඇවිල්ලා බලනවා බැංක් එකේ පොසිෂන්ස් කොහොමද දැන් රේට්ස් වැඩි වෙලාද අඩු වෙලාද ටක් ගාලා 12ට ඉස්සෙල්ලා අපිට පුළුවන් නම් නිව්යෝක් ක්ලෝසින් ටයිම් එකට කලින් තව කීයක් හරි හොයාගන්න තනිකර මේක වගේ තමයි ගැම්බලින් වගේ තමයි just like මේ ෂෙයා මාකට් එකේ වගේ මේක නගිනවා බයිනවා මේ Bloomberg එකයි Reuters දිහා බලාගෙන ස්ක්‍රීන් එකේ ස්පෙකියුලේට් කරලා කරන්න පුළුවන් මාස ගානක් අපි ඇවිල්ලා හෙමින්සරේ කළා we earn quite a lot of money millions and millions but later when the bank found that we are giving them more money by doing this they immediately told us no stop it කාටවත් වැරදුනේ නැහැ වැරදුනා නම් මොකද වෙන්නේ බැංකුවට වහන්න වෙනවා for example I'll give you a nice example 9/11 attack එක 9/11 attack එකට දවසේ උදේවරු හරි මොහොත අපි දාගෙන ගියා නම් transactions අපි මේ forecasting කරගෙන ඔහොම යන අතරේ 9/11 attack එක ආවා නම් 2001 නේද උනේ 9/11 attack එක ආවේ September 11th වල Twin Towers වලට ගෙව්වේ ඇමරිකාවල කෙලින්ම මාකට් එක ක්‍රෑෂ් කළා ඒ වගේ වෙලාවක වුණා නම් මොකද වෙන්නේ අපේ ඩීලින්ග්ස් ඔක්කොම යනවානේ any moment we don't know what is going to happen right දැන් අපි ඔක්කොම මේ දවස්වල මේ කරන් ඉන්නකොට වැඩිලාවක් ඩොනල්ඩ් ට්‍රම්ප්ට වෙඩි තිබ්බනම් rates වෙනස් වෙනවා right they were very important factors taking the no speculations they said no otherwise we have earned quite a lot of money however the importance of this however payments are made value spot for ACU currencies mainly leaving sufficient time for funding respective accounts. When we are dealing with ACU currencies, Asian Clearing Union, අපි එතෙන්දී හැමතිස්සෙම ස්පොට් එකට කරන්නේ මොකද ACU currencies වල settle කරන්න we'll have to keep sufficient time for funding the respective accounts, right? The rates are quoted by Treasury for such transactions. We call it TT selling rates, that is spot. For conversions of funds already received at an escrow account should be converted to the TT buying rate since funds have been received by the bank already. Right? These TT buying and selling rates are fixed based on the middle rate and adjusted for a profit margin. The TT buying and selling rates are fixed based on the middle rate and adjusted for a profit margin. PT rates, for example, middle rate for US dollar LKR is 127.50. If bank keeps a margin of 25 cents per US dollar, 25 cents per US dollar, then the rates are fixed as follows. TT buying can buy low. Buying can buy low. Selling can sell high. Buy low now 127.50. That's the middle rate. Minus 0.25. 127.25. Is it clear? Is it clear? Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Then TT selling, sell high, 127.50 plus 0.25, 127.75. Always we have to add or subtract the margin. Right? Cross rate. Cross rate, so we are talking about the cross rate. Right? Cross rate can, when the national currency is not a party to the transaction. When the national currency is not a party to the transaction, then we call it a cross rate. For example, a Sri Lankan bank buying and selling AUD against US dollar is obviously using a cross rate. Oh. AUD US dollar අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම මේකේ මේ ශ්‍රී ලංකන් බැංක් එක තමයි යන්නේ. ඒකට ශ්‍රී ලංකා රුපීස් මේකට ඉන්වෝල්ව් වෙලා නැහැ. ශ්‍රී ලංකා රුපීස් ඉන්වෝල්ව් නැත්නම් then we'll call it a cross rate. අපිට දැන් ගණන් ඔක්කොම මේ cross rate වලින් තමයි අපිට ගණන් හදන්න වෙන්නේ. Right? Forward rates, the rates quoted for forward transactions with future maturities. That is forward rates. The maturity will be after 2 days. Up to 2 days, we have cash from spot. Then after 2 days, at any given time, up to that range, it is forward rates, right? The difference between the TT buying or spot buying and forward buying rate is the interest difference. The difference between the TT buying or spot buying and forward buying rate is the interest differential. Now, if the spot spot buying here 183. And if it is a forward buying, right? මොනවද වෙන්නේ? Forward buying එක අපි හිතමු forward buying තමයි අපි දැන් හොයන්න ඕනේ. With the current trend, it's always 4% or 5%. අපි හිතමු inflation එක interest rate එකට යනවා. 4%, 5% විතර මේ එනවා. එහෙම එනවා නම් the spot buying will be will be more in the future. Spot buying will be more in the future. We have forecasted the rates will go up. Rates will further go up. So, 1 month forward buying again on 184.50. 184.50. Right? You got 2 months forward buying. 184.90 here. මේවා treasury හදන්න අපි හදන්නේ නැහැ. ඒකින්ද මම ගොඩක් ඒවා කරන්නේ නැහැ. මම පෙන්නනවා විතරයි. 185.50. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, the forward rates. Now the forward rates are more than the spot rates. Okay? They are more than the spot rate. The difference between the TT buying or spot buying or forward rate is the interest differential. Because of the interest differential, the difference between TT selling or spot selling and forward selling rate is also the interest differential. Same thing happens to the selling also. Then the premium and discount, very important. Make the money after the donate. Premium and discount. Right? When a forward currency is more valuable than the spot currency, the forward is said to be at a premium. When a forward currency is more valuable than the spot currency, then the forward is said to be at a premium. The rates at a premium, at a discount.
Premium.
Premium. Premium.
Premium. Is that a premium? It is more valuable than the spot currency. Spot value, right? When a forward currency is less valuable than the spot currency, the forward is said to be at a discount. Right? Forward rate aduna, spot rate it is at a discount. Right? In other words, if the base currency interest rate is lesser than the quoted currency interest rate, then the base currency is at a premium. For example, if the interest rate of LKR is more than the US dollars, then the US dollar is at a premium. The make up selling it at the right? In other words, the base currency is interest rate. Spot buying 183 million US dollar LKR. Make the base currency. What is the base currency? Louder.
USD.
US dollars.
US dollars. Base currency is US dollars. Because one US dollar equals to LKR 183. 1 US dollar equals to LKR 183. US dollar is the base rate. Is it clear? Right? Make a premium when if the base currency interest rate is lesser than the quoted currency. And what is the quoted currency? Base currency is US dollars. What is the quoted currency? This example. What is the quoted currency? Huh?
LKR.
Quoted currency is LKR. Right? Quoted currency is LKR. Now the theory is, if the base currency interest rate is lesser than the quoted currency interest rate. Now, can you tell me, now we'll see interest rates. Interest rate of US dollars. Like here it is then US dollar savings rate again. It's about 1%, 1.25. ඒ ගණන් තමයි යන්නේ. Interest rate of US dollars අපි 1.25% කියලා. Dollar rate අඩුයිනේ. Interest rate of ATR කීයද දෙන්නේ? Savings rate එක දැන් 3.54 ඒ ගන්නනේ දෙන්නේ. Savings make 4%. So just imagine, now the interest rate of base currency is lesser than the quoted currency, then the forward rates are at a premium. Now, do you agree to this formula? If the interest rate of LKR is more than US dollars, then the US dollar is at a premium. හේතුව තමයි interest rate of US dollars 1.25, interest rate of LKR is 4%, right? එහෙනම් මේ base currency එක වැඩි quoted currency එකට වඩා. Therefore, dollar is at a premium against LKR. Right? Now මේ LKR එක දැන් අඩු වෙලා තියෙනවා. And then සමහර banks වල දැන් කීයද savings rate එක යන්නේ? LKR savings එක. Huh?
Something like 2.5?
2.5 ට සමහර banks දෙන්නේ නේ. මටත් මේ ළඟදී bank එකක් offer කළා 2.5 ද. මට දවල්තර බැවුණා. මොකද මම දැන් bank එකේ නැති හින්දා මං හිතුවේ අනේ තාම අපිට හම්බ වෙනවා කියලා. දැන් pension කාර්යනේ. ඒ bank එකේම මට මගේ වරගානක් තියෙනවා. දැන් මේවා customers ලා මේ premium customers ලා 3 months rate එක ගෙන්නේ 5% විතර වගේ. right? Savings rate එක ගෙන්නේ 2.5 විතර යන්නේ. මෙහෙම තිබ්බොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? Is the dollar is at a premium to the LKR or not? Or not? Logically හිතන්න. මම මේ තව කේස් එකකටම එන්න ඔයගොල්ලොත් එක්ක. ඉන්ටරෙස්ටිං ඒවා කතා කරන්නේ. As bankers අපි හිතන්න ඕන නැති. Still the base currency is at a lesser interest rate. Still it's at a premium. නේද? ළමයි ඇහෙනවද මාව? ඇහෙන්නද නැහැ? ඇහෙනවද? එතන it's still we at a premium. දැන් ඔයාලට තේරෙනවද? අපි සමහරවිට සෙන්ට්‍රල් බැංක් එකට බයිනවා. ගෝඨාභයට බයිනවා. කොටම් බයිනවා. මොනවද මේ කරන්නේ කියේ. දැන් මේක අපි යන්න දුන්නොත් එහෙම තව මේ රේට් එක සේවිංස් රේට් එක පරණ විදිහට 4.5 6 වලට සේවිංස් රේට් එකට ගියා නම් මොකද මේකට වෙන්නේ? තව මේ ප්‍රීමියම්ස් තව එන්නේ තව වැඩි වෙලා අපි රුපියල බාල්දු වෙවි යනවා නේද? රුපියල බාල්දු වෙවි යනවා නේ. දැන් මේ වෙලාවේ අපිට ඕනේ මේක අපේ රුපියල එක ස්ට්‍රෙන්තන් කරගන්න ෆෝවර්ඩ්ස් කන්ට්‍රෝල් කරගෙන යන්න. දැන් මේක තව තව අඩු වෙනකොට අපි මේ ඩිෆරන්සස් තව ඊට ෆයින ෆිගර්ස් අපිට දෙන්න පුළුවන් වෙනවා. right? මම හිතන්නේ මේගොල්ලෝ කරන සිස්ටම් එක with my little knowledge, right? I'm not an expert economist, but now you can understand we are in the correct path. අපේ factors ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. We are discouraging imports, we are encouraging exports. ඔය ඔක්කොමත් ඇවිල්ලා interest rates අඩු කරගෙන මේ රුපියල එක අතහැරලා දැම්මොත් 200ට 215ට යන්න තියෙන රුපියල එක අපි මේ අල්ලලා හිර කරලා තියාගෙන ඉන්නවා. Right. The another one is මේක නම් කටපාඩම් කරලා තියාගන්න ඕන එකක්. LIP and HID. LIP and HID. LIP is the forward currency with a low interest. Low interest rate will be at a premium to the spot value. Low interest rate, a premium. If the forward currency with higher interest rate will be at a discount to its spot value. Right? If in the high interest rate a discount right? The make mama ganang examples check mata ekak kiyanna euro US dollars දැන් කීය දෙන්නේ මේ sorry, euro US dollars. Euro is the base currency. Yeah? Currency going to dollars. Euro US dollars. Euro US dollars. Abhi the spot rate hai. Plus rate check in 1.605 knot. 1.605 knot. Right? The metana euro wala rate එක euro wala interest rate එක වෙනවා 1.75% per annum. Dollar wala interest rate එක වෙනවා 1.25% per annum. දැන් මේකෙදී base rate එක quoted rate එකට වඩා අඩුද වැඩිද? Quoted rate එකට වඩා අඩුද වැඩිද? මොකද්ද මේකේ base rate එක? euro US dollar base currency එක මොකද්ද? What is the base currency? Euro. Yeah. Now what's the euro savings rate?
1.75.
Huh?
1.75.
1.75. Then the quoted currency base rate, quoted currency interest rate, 1.25. So which one is higher, base currency or quoted currency?
Base currency.
Base currency is higher. The base currency, if they have a higher rate, then the 1 month forward buying again, Arduino 6 not 2 months and 1.5915, 3 months and 1.5875. මේ වගේ තමයි අපි රේට් එක එන්නේ. එතකොට මෙතෙන්දී ස්පොට් රේට් එකට වඩා forward rates අඩුයි. So it will be at a discount to its spot value. It's a discount to its spot value. Right? The main reason is the interest differential. Okay. මේක මම දෙන්න homework එකට forward rate calculation එක 1 month market rate එක දෙනවා, lending දෙනවා, set මේ දෙනවා, calculate 1 month forward buying and selling rates. Right? Answer එකත් මම දීලා තියෙනවා. Right? But I am not going to discuss it now in detail. You can go through it and work out and try to understand. Right? මම මේක ඕන කමින්ම ඔයගලන්ට දෙන්නේ. ඒතර ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේක කරලා බලලා ඔළුවට ගන්නවා. එක පාරක් කරලා ගත්තා නම් මේ ගණන් මේ ටික කොහොමද කම්පියුට් කරන්න කියලා then you are through. Right? Right. Now, now, if you have any questions, please ask me. Because we are going to do some exercises next week. Right? Other පාඩමේ මොනවාරි දෙයක් තියෙනවා නම් මට කියන්න. අද පාඩමේ මොනවාරි දෙයක් තියෙනවා නම් කියන්න. Otherwise, I will ask some questions. Can you please answer me? අර චූටි ළමයි වගේ කෑ ගහලා answer කරලා මාව සන්තෝෂ කරන්න බලන්න. Right? Now tell me, who are the participants in the foreign exchange market? Who are the participants in the foreign exchange market?
Customers, banks,
Brokers.
And
Brokers.
Right? Brokers law after 1977, brokers law right? In a trade finance department, what are the areas what we report to Treasury? Trade finance transaction. What sort of trade finance transactions are we doing? Treasury के position சொல்லுங்க.
Value date changes.
Pardon?
Value date changes.
Value date changes. अभी generally ගත්තොත්
Whatever affects cash flows.
Yeah, cash flows. अभी guarantees ගන්නවා, collections ගන්නවා.
Collection.
All the trade transactions, we have to report to the treasury, right? And what are the related risk and the direct risk in forex market? There are two types. One is direct risk, other one is indirect risk. What is the direct risk?
Exchange rate risk and interest rate.
Exchange rate risk and interest rate risk. Indirect risk, can you give me some examples?
Sovereign risk,
Pardon?
country risk, legal,
Country risk,
liquidity,
liquidity risk, very good.
credit risk,
Credit risk, very good.
Operational risk.
Huh?
Operational risk.
Operational risk, agree. Right, okay. Come on.
Legal.
Legal, yes. The important key ne.
counterparty,
Counterparty risk. And
reputation,
reputational risk. Right? Okay. Then Treasury Dual Control. What are the two departments in the Treasury who maintain that dual control?
front office and back office.
Front office and back office.
Back office.
The dealers are in the back office or front office?
Front office.
Front office. They are not supposed to pass any entries, right? And even if dealers give a favorable rate to their colleagues or customers who are good with them, right? They can go up to a certain level within that range, but anything beyond that, they can't do, because all transactions, tickets, has to be passed by the middle office. Passed by the middle office. There are, meglo jagdavega karla tinawana. Kaingar saldi aragena tinawana eka huino. Right? Indirect quote and direct quote. Indirect quote take a example. What do you mean by indirect quote? Value of a currency unit is quoted in US dollars. Right? One currency unit is equals to how many US dollars? Take my indirect quote. For example, Euro LKR, sorry, Euro US dollars, then GBP US dollars, right? Aussie US dollars, New Zealand US dollars, indirect quotes in it, right? The base currency is Euro, Aussie, GBP, my base currency. Direct quotes, one US dollar is equals to how many LKR, how many Japanese yen, like that. Then bidding and offering. What do you mean by bid? Bid can buy and trade the selling rate.
Buy.
Offering?
Selling.
Right? What do you call the last 2 digits of a cross rate or a figure.
Pips.
Points or pips.
Points or pips. Points or pips. Right? I make it up. Normally, exchange rates quote karanne how many digits? 2 digits or 4 digits?
2 digits.
4 digits. Right? Again, antima deka thamai api pips කියලා ගන්න. Right?
So එවනත් අපි treasury එකෙන් rate එකක් ගන්නකොට they give only the first 2 digits නේ. අපේ last 4 එක දෙන්නේ නැහැ නේ. හතරම දෙන්නේ නැහැ නේ.
අයගොල්ලෝ දෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒගොල්ලෝ දෙන්නේ first 2 විතරයි. ඒගොල්ලෝ හදලා කරලා අපිට දෙනවා අන්තිම දෙක නේ. Yeah, correct. ඒගොල්ලෝ හදන්නේ අර විදිහට හදලා අන්තිම එකේ ඒගොල්ලෝ දෙනවා. Right? ඒගොල්ලෝ හදලා තමයි දෙන්නේ. රුපීස් වල එහෙම එනකොට මොන පිප්ස් දෙන්නේ? පිප්ස් අරන් හරියන්නේ නැහැ. සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම ගන්න ඕන. දැන් ඔය කියන්නේ 183.50 නම් 183.50 නම් හරි අපි සිලින් ගත්තොත් 187.75 කියලා 187.75 කියලා අපි ෆයිනල් රේට් එකක් ෆේවරබල් රේට් එකක් ඉල්ලුවොත් අපිට හම්බෙන්න පුළුවන් 183.35 එහෙම නේද දෙන්නේ ඔයගලන්ට එහෙම නේද දෙන්නේ 183.35 ඒගොල්ලෝ ඒක ටික හදලා ගන්නවා ඊළඟ 187.75 මේකෙත් අපි කෝඩ් කරලා තින්නේ 2 digits වලට එතකොට ඒක අරගොල්ලෝ තමයි අඩු කරලා දෙනවා 187.75 කියන්නේ රේට් එක normal rate එක එහෙනම් දැන් සිලික් payment එක කරන්න ඕන අපිට මේ import payment එක කරන්න ඕන තමයි හොඳ rate final rate එකක් ඉල්ලුවාම අපිට ඕන 187.60 හරි 187.50 හරි අපිට අඩු කරලා ඒගොල්ලෝ දෙනවා but it cannot go beyond the middle rate දෙපැත්තෙම middle rate එකට න්‍යාය පැත්තට යන්න එපා right the make මොකද්ද base currency එක
US dollars
base currency is US dollars bid rate $183.50 offer rate
187.75
187.75 right ඊට පස්සේ අපි කිව්වා forex fundamentals ගැන අපි ඉගෙන ගත්තා T+0 කියන්නේ what is that T+0 cash T+1
Tom
T+1 Tom T+2 spot right the middle rate is the average of the actual cost that we incur in purchasing and selling a particular currency in the market TT rates is equals to spot rates right right what do you mean by LIP LIP කියන්නේ
low interest premium
low interest premium the forward currency with a low interest is will be at a premium to the spot value. HID, high interest discount. High interest discount. Right? Okay. Our forward rate calculations guarantee done. Right. Then I'm eagerly waiting for next week to see the wonderful faces and to see the smiling faces, and we have another one month, 2 months, 2 months therapy. Exam was probably November exam at the end of the exam November the end of Pulu vehicle among Hitana. That will be based on either before the DABF exams or after the DABF exam. Sort out either it's before or after. Araka clash no in the Samarkatya DABF Karnakatya, they can clash no end up here. Make a part and Karagana and a Kudan DABF. Then in the Kerala, Garanti Karanda Kerala, Api Harite Kerum. Okay. Thank you very much. I'll call it a day. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Mom, you make a put up banana. And Apikatakale case study. That's interesting. I get a brand. What the Picaran again? And it does have a put a Katakar. What a hurry answer again. There's no fixed answer. We can see all the pros and cons and discussing a solution. What you can suggest. Right? I thought time waste no. How many people are here with me?
Log out
14 people are there.
Huh?
14 people are there. Log out.
Log out to another. Good. Right. Enang api anidose karamu gula kitala paragan end. Right? Okay. Thank you.